Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, and this week I just wanted to share with you some of the progress I'm making with my 2mm American Civil War 1st Manassas travel battle set. You will remember I did a couple of videos around travel battle and how I put the system together, painted the figures, and I've been wanting to do an American Civil War version of my own, small scale, one I can play on a gridded mat. The one I've got here, which is 2 by 3 foot, 7.5 centimeter square grids, and you will see from the nature of these bases that they will fit 2 comfortably with skirmishes out, which is what these little things are here, into a square. So they will work really well for the game I'm putting together. So I finally just about finished the Confederate lists for 1st Manassas. This is Beauregard's forces. So we've got the man himself in front here. As I say, I've done a couple of skirmish sets. These will be, I've just got the bases to finish, the edges of the bases to finish, but I wanted to share with you now. So these will be one for each base, so you can see when skirmishes are out in front of the brigades, as they will be here. So I've based these on 60 by 30s, I believe they were. So these chaps here that's Holmes's Reserve Brigade, part of Beauregard. So we've got 3 regiments in there. We've got some artillery batteries, and that will either be some mounted infantry or one of the legions, etc., in there as well. You'll see that I've used, as I'd said before, this battlefield guide is where I'm taking my army lists from. So these chaps here, for example, are Evans's 7th Brigade. So again, let's just zoom that in for you. I'm sorry if the camera's moving about a bit, but it's just so I can get it in a bit closer. So again, you've got some 3 units in that brigade. And then you get into some of the bigger ones, such as Bonham's 1st Brigade. And you've got 6 regiments in there, some cavalry, and some artillery as well. So I've crammed them all onto the one base. So each brigade is historically allocated. That's Longstreet. The number of bases represent each regiment that made up that brigade. Artillery piece represents if there's artillery batteries, and then sometimes there'll be little horse or dismounted cavalry stroke skirmish stands representing other subsidiary units that were in that brigade. So this is Early's. So again, you'll see some of the colour schemes are slightly different to represent some of the slightly different uniforms that were worn. In fact, that one has a slightly different flag, because from my research, that particular unit did carry the different flag to other units. You've got things like the Maryland Zouaves in there in slightly different colours, and then you've got your kind of all grey or mixture of grey with some of the blue, the Virginian units. So they're all slightly different, but hopefully you can get a flavour here. So this one is Cock, and that's mainly Virginian units, so they all look fairly similar there from that point of view as well, but hopefully you can get a good flavour of those. And let's just put them back into position. So I basically used irregular miniature 2mm ACW blocks. As you'll have seen from an earlier video, sort of based them all first into the formations I wanted them, and then undercoated them in grey with a brown wash to start with, and then did the colours from there. The bases are quite quick then to knock out. The basing itself was initially a very fine sand with a wash over the top, and then at that point, once I've done that, I then painted the figures, and then afterwards I've just put on some of this very fine sort of foliage, which actually works really well. I'm quite pleased with it. It's sort of like undergrowth, trees, whatever you want to call it really, but it's enough. I don't think I need to do any more on those. So that's Beauregard's forces for 1st Manassas. I've also done, because that's Army of the Potomac, the Army of the Shenandoah under Johnston. So that's again slightly different. So we've got, for example, here the Black Cavalry, the 1st Virginians. We've got here, we've got Jackson. Obviously this brigade was where Jackson got his famous nickname, as we know, Stonewall, for the actions he took. I believe it was on Henry House Hill during the battle. We've then got a small brigade here, as you can see. This is Bartow's, 2 regiments, some artillery. We've got B, again played a very important part in the battle itself. And then we've got Smith and Elsey's 4th Brigade. So there's actually only 4 brigades and 1 attached cavalry unit, the 1st Virginia, as part of that unit. And then overall you can see how they come together as the Confederate forces that took part in that battle. So just wanted to share that with you. Any questions, please ask. I'm now about to move on to the Union forces under McDowell, and I'll bring you more videos on that as we get a bit closer down the line on that one. Speak to you all soon.